Welcome to Nova Scotia. I'm at the cottage now and I'm going out for a quick spin just to get my legs moving because they're tired of sitting still on the plains yesterday. And the leaves, oh my god, they're stunning. It's been quite a few years since I've been home in October to see the leaves change, and Nova Scotia is super special that way. I'll just show you a quick peek. There you go. There. Take you for a ride down this road. Hopefully you can get an idea of how spectacular the leaves are this time of year in Nova Scotia. It's truly beautiful. It's about 25 degrees, feels like high 20s, 28, 29. It is baking hot. So warmer than the south of France in September and October in Canada. Jojo made it. Plane ride, no damage, came out very well. So I'm taking her for a spin and let's do this. So I wore the GoPro the wrong way around, but I took some shots from the car so I could show you guys how beautiful the leaves are. The leaves are just starting to change, so they get even better than this. There's still a lot of green right now, but look at the reds. I mean, it's just so amazing. And this is the road down to the cottage. It's a bit of a steep hill, and so you have to be careful not picking up too much speed because it's not the smoothest road in the world for road bike tires. I thought I'd show you a little bit about what cycling in a Canadian city is like. Halifax is just over 400,000 in population, and I've taken the ferry over from Dartmouth to Halifax, and this is the downtown core area, so the more densely populated area of the city. The suburbs do sprawl quite a bit in Halifax. And as you can see already, truck parked in the bike lane. And as you'll see in a minute, the bright pink Pepto-Bismol colored double-decker bus is going to pull over and park in the bike lane. So as you can see, education is needed in Halifax about parking and not parking in bike lanes. As you'll see in this video, that will become an ongoing theme. Truck in the bike lane. Now this is a new bike lane with sort of more segregation, no physical barrier, but you can see the extra buffer there between the cycling lane and the cars. And all along this road there will be things parked in the bike lane, as despite it saying no stopping and no parking, although I do believe it's outside the no stopping hours, but it's clearly marked no parking. And so yeah, here we come again. And this road you're about to see in a minute, it is a really good thing to have a bike lane on this road because very large trucks come down this street to get to the port, bringing big containers to and from the port. Yeah, a coach, and oh look, Canada Post in the bike lane. So a bit useless of a bike lane when you have to dodge in and out, which is just more dangerous than staying in the lane the cars are in. So here we have somebody moving, so a glass installer. What else have we got in the bike lane? Oh, just all sorts in the bike lane. And the bike lane's about to come to an end due to a building construction going on, and it suddenly becomes the best bike lane in the world, the non-existent bike lane. So we've got barriers for protection, we've got division between the pedestrian side on the left there. I mean, this is the temporary bike lane, and it's way better than the actual bike lane. It's crazy. So in a minute you'll see one of those lorries I was telling you about come alongside me. There we go. And so this is why on this street it's a really good idea to have a physical barrier between the bike lane and the actual road, and I'd like to see that in the future. But meanwhile, I would like to see people not parking in it. I had a fun day exploring Halifax. I like to poke around and see what's changed in the year that I was away, and Halifax is growing right now, so a lot does change year to year from my visits. And here's a bike lane that cars aren't parked in because there's parking next to it, but there is somewhat of a reasonably wide parking area, so the door zone isn't too bad unless it's a big truck like these two. The bike lane will come to an end at the next junction, but they have a nice little reminder there. Oh yeah, share the road, so I guess that's helpful. This is Dalhousie University, one of 6 universities in Halifax. The student population is 30,000, so Halifax should be investing in cycling infrastructure. They're the perfect population for it. They're young, they don't have a lot of money, they'd make short journeys. Cycling infrastructure would be well used by the students if it was good and if it wasn't parked in. Anyway, as you can see, the roads here, if you're European or from London in particular, look how wide these roads are, so wide. And this is one way. The section in the middle is a barrier between the other direction. So wide, so much room, bike lane easily installed in these roads, no reason not to do it. Add to that some decent bike parking and maybe some cycling instruction for those who aren't confident on the road, and I think you'd have a lot more students cycling in Halifax. Now I've made my way down to the waterfront. It's one of the big cruise ships that comes to Halifax, and it's time for a well-earned drink. So I took a quick break, had a few beers, and then a little ride along the seafront, which is a great place to ride when it's not busy, but it's a shared path. I mean, you're allowed to cycle here, but we're usually on the weekend it's quite busy and there's tons of people walking, and it's really not great for cycling. There's all sorts down here. There's restaurants, there's shops, there's a place you can rent bikes or take biking tours. Here you go. Kayaking tours. There's food huts, so you can get ice cream in the summer. These huts are shut in the winter, though. And then there's Beaver Tails, which is a yummy pastry. And yeah, there's a museum, there's historical ships, there's big yachts, there's the Wave, which is a sculpture that they now let kids play on. They gave up trying to block kids from climbing it. And yeah, playground, there's all sorts down there, so it's quite a busy place in the summer on a nice day. Had a lovely day riding around Halifax, checking out what's new, discovering new areas I hadn't noticed before when I used to be a driver here. Now I'm on the way home and we'll be going along Lake Binook along the recreational trail, so I'll show you a bit of that. I'm just making my way to the ferry. If you enjoyed my little tour and seeing what Halifax is all about, and obviously it's starting to have a little cycling infrastructure going on, but it's a little ways to go yet. And this is the Dartmouth side of the harbour. It's where I grew up. It's known as the City of Lakes, and it's a great place to grow up. I grew up on this lake we're coming up to here, which is Lake Binook. This is part of the recreational trail. You can run around the entire lake, which I did with my friend, which I believe was about 4K. Being that this is actually a recreational trail and not designated cycling infrastructure, it is mixed use. So if I'm cycling for transport, that's not my preference because it puts a lot of conflict between pedestrians and cyclists. If I'm out cycling with my family, if I had kids, then this is perfectly adequate. It's not crazy busy, but using cycling as a form of transport, it's not ideal. So I would probably cycle on the road here if I was actually commuting daily. And now it's coming up to the fun bit. So if you're not an experienced cyclist, I believe you would go across this crosswalk and go up the sidewalk on the other side. I presume that you're permitted to do that as a cyclist, but I don't ride on sidewalks, so I put myself in the road and a major interchange. Luckily, it's not a busy time of day, but it can be hairy around here at rush hour. Cars are going at high speeds. This is the on-ramp to the highway, so it's an exit. It's a junction for a highway. It's not ideal for cyclists. Thought I'd show you one more crazy wide road. This road's wide enough for cars parked on both sides and still have room for cars coming each way to pass each other, and everyone has driveways, so much space given to cars, it's crazy. And you'll notice no sidewalks, so also crazy. So while I was home, I also caught up with some of my oldest friends. We had a great time catching up and going out and enjoying the Nocturne Festival that was going on in Halifax. And here's a little taste of it for you.
We're here all night, guys. Nocturne, go out, enjoy the art.
Have fun, everybody.
Enjoy the people. No, not at all. Recording you on the...
I started riding up the road, and then the tyre popped off the rim.
Ooh. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit about my hometown, and if you enjoyed seeing what cycling in Canada is like, please give me a thumbs up.